Welcome back to the Central Valley Buzz, everybody. I'm your host, Chuck Leonard. Let's bring in our next guest, motivational speaker, Angel Corona. Hello, hello.
Hi,
Are you raising the roof?
Yes,
Is that what
I
you're doing?
am, absolutely.
So you're already motivating
I
us.
already am.
How long have you been a motivational speaker?
Actually, just started the last couple months realizing that is what I'm going to be doing.
What'd you do before?
I am an administrative assistant. I've been a support person at the county office for 18 years. So I've always supported others. I've always been of service, but now I have a story to share, and so I'm on a mission.
Tell me the story.
So in June of 2014, I had a situation where I found myself basically physically, mentally, and just spiritually broken.
What got you there?
Well, I have been, I was a young mother, and basically since then have been in survival mode. I have always worked really hard, just kind of had my head down to the road and hit, just going forward. And so that meant that everything that came along in my life, I just kind of pushed down, suck it up, and just kept going, which was great because it meant, I was a strong person. The problem with that is that I never addressed any of the things in my life. I just kind of expected myself to keep going. And in doing that, I would overeat, eat things that were awful for me. I had awful just coping mechanisms for stress.
So you're food dependent?
I was food dependent. I was a very emotional
You get stressed out and you start eating?
I was stressed out, yes. I was an emotionally just always up and down, moody, tired, nervous. I was miserable. I made everyone around me miserable and just a very unhappy person.
What were people telling you? What were they saying?
Well, they wouldn't.
Chill out?
They wouldn't, calm down, don't worry, it's going to be okay. But as many times as they would tell me that inside, I just felt very uneasy and unhappy, and it didn't feel that way to me. So I didn't have any balance in my life. And the worse I felt, the worse I ate. And I was 211 pounds in June of 2014. And December 2014, I had lost 70 pounds. And
wow.
To date.
70?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
To date, I weigh 132 pounds. I went from a size 18 to a size 4. And but most.
How does that make you feel?
Absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah.
It does. But what I always say is that was a side effect, because what I learned, the awareness that I gained in this whole transition, was that I was really defeating myself. I was the one that was determining how my life was. And by just continuously telling myself why I couldn't do it and why I couldn't prepare my meals or why I wouldn't be able to eat that way, that's exactly where I stayed. And so I really learned just how I can just have a different perspective and kind of be my own biggest cheerleader. And I am here to just share my message because I think.
So you're kind of beating yourself up?
I did.
You beat yourself
Very
up to
much
the point
did.
that you get all bummed out and start eating?
I was bummed out.
Was it any other outside influences making you bummed out, or was it just you?
Well, I used to think so. I used to think that
Blame
it was
it on everybody
everyone
else. Right.
Yes, and you know what I realized is I'm in the same exact environment now as I was then, and I have more joy and excitement every single day than I have ever had. So it was me. I was the common denominator. I was miserable, therefore I was making everyone else miserable around me. And
watching too many novellas or what?
Yeah, I was consumed with negativity. The shows I watched, everything that I thought of and surrounded myself with was just completely negative.
It's easy though, right?
It's easy.
It's easy to get pulled into that.
But it's easier. It's easier to love yourself and dig deep and commit to doing what you need to do for yourself. It's easier to be healthy and happy because I have the weight of the world lifted off of my shoulders.
Plus 70 pounds.
Plus 77.
Okay.
77 now. And it's amazing. It's an amazing feeling. It is true and utter joy.
Tell me about the moment when you went, that aha moment when you go, I'm depressed and I think I eat too much, and if I lost weight, I would feel better.
Yes, it was in June, and what happened was I had been getting sicker and sicker and sicker, and that little voice inside me that said, girl, you better shape up, I ignored it, kept ignoring it. So in June, I found myself so sick, I was on my bathroom floor, crying to my mother, having to be rushed to the hospital because my anxiety was so bad, my depression was so bad, that I could not get up off the ground. So here you have, a 39-year-old woman that's crying to her mother, lost, completely lost, who has been a strong woman my entire life. I have 4 children and a husband, and I have I don't know where to go. So that was the moment where my sons were looking down at me on the floor because I was so sick. I was on, and my sons are looking down at me like, Mom, how can we help you? And it clicked in my head. it is my responsibility to be there for them. It is my responsibility to show them that they can be healthy and happy. And they're having to worry about me, the one person that they trust the most to take care of them. And from that moment on, it has never been the same in my life. So I'm just here to share the message that it is possible for anyone.
How's your husband feel about all this?
He's pretty amazed because our relationship went from almost on the brink of divorce to the most wonderful relationship. We are completely in love again, and we just have a whole different vibe with us. It's just very loving and supportive, and it's exciting. It's like brand new.
It is exciting. Well, you're like brand new.
I am completely brand new.
At least refurbished, right?
Yes.
Now, do you have a book, or do you just go around talking to people?
I'm writing a book. This whole thing is new to me because I started realizing that this is what I love to do, and I'm committed to doing what I love to do. And so I started writing a book, and it's amazing how fast it's all flowing out now. I feel like I've become the yes person because my goal is to recognize opportunities that emerge for myself. I always say to let my champion emerge. And so I'm also going to be creating a journal because the whole reason of my title is that in being a secretary for all the years I've been, I'm really big on taking notes and writing everything down. And so I did that through my whole journey in my journal. And so I really feel that a person needs that because then when you have those weak moments or you're in a day that's a little challenging, you go back and you see the progress and you see what you've done. And it just allows you to really remember how far you've come and how hard you worked. And so
What are some of the things your friends and family are saying about you now?
they love to be around me now. Before, it was like, you're having her come over, really? I was a very controlling person, extremely irritated all the time.
Could you cast a dark cloud on a room
I
when you
was
walked in?
a dark cloud in the room. I absolutely was. And, they loved me anyway, which I'm so grateful for. But I just feel like now, whenever we go somewhere, because I used to dread it as well. I became very isolated. I didn't want to go anywhere or do anything. And my light just was burning out. And so now I look forward to seeing family and friends and just enjoying those moments that bring just true happiness, where before I didn't value them. I didn't appreciate them. And now I just feel like every moment with them is just, I'm so grateful for it.
What about your cherished sons? Now, after they saw you in that your weak moment, probably your weakest moment.
Yes, they absolutely did.
And now,
they're excited.
And now they see mom fit and trim and happy.
And also, I think what they see, the energy in our home has shifted. I used to come home grumpy and yelling and nagging. And although, I still like a clean home, so I still, am that taskmaster. But they absolutely see a different side of me. So the energy in our home has shifted. But what's so amazing and that I learned in this whole thing is that I have allowed myself to believe that I can dream again. And so I'm teaching them now that they can dream and that anything is possible. People say it, but now I think they really believe it and they see me as their example. And so our family has just, it's endless possibilities. So it's great to see them excited.
When you talk to people that aren't as positive as you, what are the types of things are you telling them now?
Well, I'm really trying to help them to shift the way they're thinking. A lot of times we're so, we want to go straight to what we don't want and say what we don't want or what we wish didn't happen or what, And the thing is, I think we bring more of that about by thinking that way. And so I'll just kind of try and without them realizing it, just shift their thoughts into more of what they do want. Maybe they don't want this, but why? Why do they want this? This is what they want. Why? And it just kind of like brightens something up in them, and it just kind of makes that sparkle in their eye, and it gives them a little bit of hope. And that's really what I'm all about. It is no longer my story. I went through this last 10 months, and now it is my calling to be their inspiration, to help them find who it is inside of them that's waiting to emerge. So that is what this is all about, and sharing what I learned and what I know now so that they can be successful and wake up in the morning so excited, like they don't know what's going to happen, but they're just ready for it. So
I think you should start a positive girl gang.
Yeah.
Where are you based out of Fresno?
I've been here my entire life. Yes.
You're a Fresno your whole life.
I am.
Well, that's a good enough reason to be positive
Thank
right
you.
there.
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Awesome. People want to get a hold of you. It's 341-4613.
Yes, and not the gentleman that makes the nasty calls, but anyone else. Yes. And because so many people have really expressed the need for my help, what I've done is I started doing workshops, and I'm going to have my first one tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. And Cindy Dean has created her own studio out of her home, Energy Rocks. And so we're going to have this workshop. We have 50 spots, and we're just going to get this ball rolling and do this thing already.
So you're just going to get a bunch of people together and get the positivity rolling.
That's right. We're going to start making some things happen around here in our wonderful little valley.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Angel, thanks for coming on.
Thank you so much for
I love
having
talking
me.
to you.
I'm grateful. Thank you so much.
You like Tejano music?
Yes,
I know
love
you
it.
do.
I'm so
Hey,
excited.
stick around. Coming up next, live Tejano music from Lex Andrews. Stick around.